Well, folks, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching from, however you are watching Spoon Television online, live from the grounds of the Supreme Court in Monrovia. We are here to bring you up to date about what's happening at the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. This morning we got a report that staff was there. They had some misunderstanding agreement with the executive director, and the Liberia National Police security officers were deployed at the premises of the facility, and we decided to ascertain the information. But well, little did we know that staffers who were at the premises of the Environmental Protection Agency were actually dragged to court by the Executive Director, Professor Wilson Tarpeh. Some claimed that Professor Tarpeh tenure has expired. He should not be holding that position because President Weah is no more, the former president is no more serving as president of the country, and he was given the position tentatively, not according to the laws, to the act that created the Environmental Protection Agency. According to the act, the executive director has about 7 years to serve, but it should go through procedural. The boards can go ahead to select the executive director. When the board completes the selection of the executive director, the board can recommend the appointment. For in the case of Professor Wilson Tarpeh, they claim that no one recommended him. They were just sitting at the EPA one day and they heard that the president appointed Professor Tarpeh to just hold the position until otherwise. So Professor Tarpeh dragged them to court. We will talk to some of those that came to the court today. So welcome. You will tell us your name.
Environmental Protection Agency.
So
today is very remarkable. Today is a remarkable day for us in EPA. I think you can see almost all our managers, our staff, our senior managers, they are here to work along with us. So really, Professor Tarpeh has dragged us to court. We are proved that he dragged us to court, but you see that bringing us to court here, we minimize or close or seduce us. When you don't know, he's adding and doing nothing problem for himself. Up and down, we're in court. Tarpeh is at the office, which Tarpeh doesn't have the tenure position. Automatically, Tarpeh doesn't have the tenure position. Everybody knows the name Tarpeh bearing the name Wilson Tarpeh is a charismatic, notorious, habitual, and amateur criminal with English. All over Wilson Tarpeh work.
Everybody knows the need to be what?
Notorious, habitual, amateur, and charismatic criminal within all the institutions himself.
You've been working with him?
I've been working with him. I know Wilson Tarpeh. Wilson Tarpeh for the own financial discipline that he has, that he acquired. The own financial discipline, he doesn't understand the financial standpoint of the market. Wilson Tarpeh, he and the controller will continuously, normally take check. Yeah, we are no supporting the argument and steal the money.
But tell us, bring us up to speed about tenure, what prompted your action and all of that.
Wilson Tarpeh he don't have the tenure. He don't have the tenure position within EPA. There is no law that established for tenure. Wilson Tarpeh was somewhere with punishment. The president, the nephew George Manning, we are sending them for punishment. I think no one knew what was going on over there. So Wilson Tarpeh saw the web. He sent the EPA permit continuously. In consistency of the EPA permit, Wilson Tarpeh is over there damaging the institution.
But the executive director works at the will and pleasure of the president.
Yeah.
And the act that established the institution says the executive director has about 7 years to serve. Why are you?
No, he didn't breach. There was no act that was created. First of all, Wilson Tarpeh was not commissioned by the Senate. One thing to understand, you are not commissioned by the Senate on tenure position. Wilson Tarpeh, when you are now vetted, they now vetting He was not nominated to serve the president. Immediately when they get Lieutenant Blama out, the president get appointed him there. I want you to think
who can do the vetting process? Who does
the policy council.
The policy council does the vetting and make recommendation to who?
To the president. Normally, the policy council do the vetting and make recommendation to the president automatically. So we think about incomplete out of violation. But I think you see what happened to Eugene Namwe, the maritime board. Eugene Namwe was over there. He was never commissioned by the Senate. So his tenure was not guaranteed. And he had 2 years plus he had to withdraw. Western Tarpeh don't have no guarantee of tenure over there. Western Tarpeh just making his way over there. The policy council never vet him. He was never nominated there to go over there as a tenure official. Okay, that was it. I'm showing a certificate from the Senate as a tenure official. And he won't prove him. He must go. He won't prove him. I think you see the majority of you, almost all the staff, the employees there. When you took out the code, he had dragged out the code. Even the judge that goes on, the judge told that he can find an amicable solution. He said no, we must go to court, and it's just for our bond.
Aside from the issue of Prof. Tarpeh is now meeting the benchmark of tenure position and all of that, has he served the institution well?
No, he damaged the institution. He damaged the institution. He damaged the institution. I think my colleague will continue with it.
Yeah, so thank you. Welcome. What's the name?
My name is Andrew M. Cooper, a legitimate employee of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and I serve as an account analyst here.
Andrew, can you tell us what you're in this claim and under claim?
Since the election in November, there have been an argument between Western Tarpeh and us on grounds that he wants to forcibly claim a training position at the EPA. Now, let me be frank with you. The act that created EPA granted the executive director a training position, provided if he meets the fundamental formalities that will give it a training. And one of those fundamental formalities says that, well, according to Section 16 of the Act, that the president shall appoint an executive director with wide environmental knowledge, which he lacks. Further in the Act, it says that, well, the president shall appoint the executive director from a short list of 30 individuals recommended by the National Environmental Policy Council. If you ask me what we've got a policy council at EP, I would tell you no. So in the absence of a policy council, there is no issue about tenure. So Western Tarpeh claim about tenure is very criminal. And we as employees of EPA from day one, we said that we will not condone that. Whether you break us into pieces, whether you tear our skin, our blood weight that he has started doing, we will not entertain that he proposition of a tenure. Now, our main argument this morning was that the president, the former president, Dr. George Monrovia signed an executive order 123. And section 9 of that executive order clearly states that non-20 presidential appointees shall be presumed resign as of the date of inauguration. So this morning we came and told Western Tarpeh, in keeping with the executive order, you are presumed resign. And the law further states in the executive order that the most senior civil servant shall assume or act as officer in charge. We turn to Western Tarpeh that as per the organic grant of the EPA, the most senior officer at about this time is the chief technical advisor. So as of today, the chief technical advisor should serve as the officer in charge. That is Benjamin Comeau. We told him that Benjamin Comeau should assume the responsibility of the executive director of the EPA as the chief technical advisor. So he should be the officer in charge. We told him, but I don't know why Western Tarpeh so much want to hold on to the position of executive director criminally.
Aside from being, taking all the position without tenure and all of that, has Western Tarpeh served well?
My brother, Western Tarpeh has never served well from the day you were born. From the day he served at the agriculture, then he been a criminal. From the day he entered finance ministry, he been a criminal. From the day he entered the commerce ministry recently, he been a criminal. And even at EPA, where he want to perpetuate his criminality, he been a criminal from day one. So there is no good in the history of Western Tarpeh services in government.
With all that you say, why is it being sent from one point to another?
Because he part of a criminal cartel. When the criminals will appoint criminals. We told Western Tarpeh that there's decent government that is coming, you don't have space in it. Because our government will not entertain criminals like you.
Now you are the court. What did the court say?
Well, within their own, to address and arrest warrant on felonious restraint. Now, We came here, we got our lawyers filed our bonds. This is why you see we are outside. The legal restraint is available. So on that legal note, we're able to get bail out of the court, we are outside. But I can tell you, being outside or even being charged with legal restraint does not mean that we allow Western Tarpeh to brief the head of EPA. The head of EPA is...
Please,
now,
y'all go behind this car.
The head of
right
EPA is for legitimate EPA workers, not Western Tarpeh. Western Tarpeh has no legitimacy at the EPA. At about this time, Professor Benjamin Kamo should be taking over. But Western Tarpeh doesn't want to give chance to Professor Benjamin Kamo. And we are calling on the President, His Excellency Ambassador Baka, that at about this time, that he kindly inform Western Tarpeh that he does not have space in his government. Because Western Tarpeh is corrupt, he is fearlessly corrupt.
You have been accusing Professor Tarpeh of corruption. Can you just state some instances at the EPA where he was allegedly involved in NN?
I tell you for free that Western Tarpeh is on the payroll of Bear Mountain. Isn't that conflict of interest? I tell you for free that Western Tarpeh is in the habit of...
Is he on the board of Bear Mountain?
He's not on the board of Bear Mountain, but he's on the payroll.
Doing what
Bear
then?
Mountain paying those monies so that he can compromise the environmental violations on the part of Bear Mountain. And that's why he did do it. You know about the sign out spillage in Bear Mountain recently. Where did that case go? It didn't go anywhere because Western Tarpeh is residing with EPA. And Bear Mountain pays him for doing those clandestine things. Western Tarpeh is in the habit of diverting monies as well to go in the government cupboard. Because the EPA policy states that funds should go into the GOL consolidated account. But Western Tarpeh wrote recently, Liberia Mineral Export. Western Tarpeh wrote Liberia Mineral Export verbally telling them that don't pay fund in government consolidated account. And he gave an account to pay that money into. Isn't that being criminal?
Yeah, you coming on now.
Because there is a beginning for everything. There is a beginning for everything. Now is the time we want to bring this to the public layer that Western Tarpeh is corrupt. We don't need him in the space of EPA any longer. He has been corrupt. He is corrupt. And even when you give Western Tarpeh the chance for the next 750 years, he will be corrupt.
I'm concerned your opponent has been preventing from claiming some quote-unquote training positions. But now you are coming away so many allegations that my further expand this entire matter.
My dear brother, I am prepared for Western Tarpeh. I am prepared for Western Tarpeh. The first thing is that let me just tell you something. Western Tarpeh just manifested a corruption recently during the transitional team visit at the EPA. Western Tarpeh refused to disclose information on the personnel listing. Western Tarpeh refused to disclose information on the financial statement. Western Tarpeh refused to disclose payrolls. Western Tarpeh refused to disclose financial reports, bank statement. All of the information on the transitional team requested, Western Tarpeh refused to give it to the transitional team because he's concealing those corruptible acts of his that he has not up to now cover up. So he concealed it from the transitional team.
People, how many in total that are in this together?
This struggle is the entire EPA, but obviously you will know that people will be the ringleader in every struggle. Like you said, like you saw from the beginning of your recording, all the people that accompany us at the court here are all legitimate employees of EPA. But because of the solidarity fight, they had to come. They said that in as much Western Tarpeh issue a written arrest for us, they will follow us. So today, I tell you fervently that no work at EPA. Everybody assembled here today in solidarity, in support to the fight. And the fight is not about Andrew Cooper, the fight is not about Jerry Tucker. The fight is about liberating EPA so that we can restore that environmental sanity.
Others, I know, might just join a live. They will just need a summary of your entire call that you are making.
Today, we are sending this message to the general public that Western Tarpeh has corrupted EPA uncontrollably and irreparably. So we call it on the national government, Ambassador Bwaka, we call it on our sympathizers who understand the essence of the EPA to kindly ask EPA, Western Tarpeh to leave the EPA and give chance to the officer in charge, in person of Professor Benjamin Kamo, to steady the affairs of the EPA, pending the appointment of a new executive director. That's what we want to tell the public, because we cannot work with Western Tarpeh. Western Tarpeh does not even have legitimacy at EPA. Not only because we cannot work with him. If he had legitimacy at EPA, we would have opted to work with him. But I tell you, up to present time, Wesley Tarpeh does not have any legitimacy at EPA. Then he pack his things and leave, because if he stays at EPA, he will be solely the operation of the EPA. EPA is a credible institution, and the credibility of EPA has been compromised because of the presence of Wesley Tarpeh. Let Wesley Tarpeh leave. Let Wesley Tarpeh leave, because we want to restore the dignity of the EPA as of the days of old.
Someone would say your plight would be politically motivated. Maybe somebody who wants to occupy the position is sending you guys to come and do this.
I'm equally qualified to become the executive director of EPA, become a certified environmental technician. So if I have the energy to fight for someone to occupy position, why I can't fight for myself? So to answer your question, is not politically motivated. Is in essence of providing the real solution to the problems that we've been faced with at the EPA. This is not politics. We are discussing environment. There is no politics in the environment. When it comes to the environment, we need people who are credible. We know people who are competent, people who are qualified, not people who are political fortune hunters that waiting Tarpeh. Wesley Tarpeh is a fortune hunter.
Before situation reach point of these, people might have some dialogues. What did you get for him? What now is he meeting?
The only conversation we've been having with Wesley Tarpeh, your time is near, prepare to leave. That's the only conversation. And the message has just been one message. Wesley Tarpeh, the solution to this problem is pack your things and leave EPA. You were appointed to work at the way and pleasure of George Weah. And George Weah informed me in executive order that as of the day of the inauguration, you cease to exist as an executive director. Then why keep holding on to power?
The act that established the institution says 7 years.
The act says 7 years for the office of the executive director, but not for Wesley Tarpeh. Because before you get the 7 year, according to Section 16 of the Act, it says that what the president shall appoint an executive director from a short list of 3 individuals recommended by the policy council. Do we have a policy council at EPA? No, we don't have a policy council. So in your way, you don't have a policy council at EPA, meaning nobody can serve in the training position. And that Section 16 further says that what, except that the president shall appoint an interim executive director pending the establishment or formation of the policy council. So pending the formation of the policy council, it was when the president in 2018, first of all, appointed former executive director, Dr. Nab Lama. The president, at his word of pleasure in 2020, dismissed Nab Lama. So if indeed there was a training at EPA, Nab Lama would have been the first person to file for training. But because Nab Lama being knowledgeable of the act of EPA, Nab Lama didn't cry for training. He respectfully took his team after he was being dismissed and left the EPA. Wesley Tarpeh in 2020, on the scene accord as an interim executive director, according to the law. So now that you are appointed to work at the way and pleasure, why can't you pack saying your employer has packed? You think you are more honorable than George Weah, who considered defeat? If anybody should be fighting for power, it should have been President Weah. Now you were appointed, so he doesn't have a tenure.
So now, what is the next step for the Starbucks?
We will call on our colleagues not to cooperate with Wesley Tarpeh like they have started doing. Wesley Tarpeh called meetings, nobody will attend those meetings. But I can assure you, between now to the weekend, the story of Wesley Tarpeh will be the story of the people of the days of old. Wesley Tarpeh will no more be in the space of EPA. I can show you that for one fact from now to the weekend. Because we are going to engage all facets of this government, be it politically, be it religiously. We are going to engage the civil society grouping. We are going to engage the media and echo our voices. So the rest of the Liberian people that Wesley Tarpeh is imposing himself on us criminally, and we as employees of the EPA, we are not going to take it because we never took it before, we will not take it.
Thank you. Thank you. Your name again?
My name is Andrew M. Cooper. I'm an account analyst of the environmental.
And your charge for the day?
Felonious restraint, claiming that I stopped people from entering the fence, which is very diabolical. I did not stop anybody. Why would you say I stopped someone from entering the fence, but the very people follow us here at the court, cheering us? I tell you for free, even the bond that I was paid for, I didn't take money from my pocket. The workers raised that money to tell you how much they are desirous of a change at EPA. But I can assure them, the money that you pay for the bond to release me, we will get the change that we want because we're not going to rest. As I leave from here now, I'm going to re-energize myself for the fight because that fight is a fight to see.
Read the charge. I did not see Professor Tarpeh's name on the charge sheet.
Professor Tarpeh is a crony old man. He used the manager of administration, which she doesn't even have the legal authority to sue on behalf of EPA. The act that created EPA vests the power of the EPA in the executive director, the acting executive director, or the officer in charge. So you are not executive director, you are not acting executive director, you are not even officer in charge. Then you come in to sue. But we know how that break came about. But however, we survived his plan. Wasting your plan failed. Andrew is walking out, Jerry is walking out, and the people are celebrating us. You know that your days are over.
We just got a report that Professor Tarpeh is currently at the EPA's running the day-to-day activities.
And I can tell you that being there, Professor Tarpeh cannot even read letter to any international partner they honor it. Because we already informed our international partner that Professor Tarpeh stay at EPA for now is criminal. But I want to strongly believe that he going at EPA now is to pack his luggage, not to transact business at EPA. Because nobody will honor that. Even the least man in the building will not take instruction from him. Because his instruction has fallen down on an unfertilized ground administratively.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So there you have it. We've been in conversation with staffers of the Environmental Protection Agency who were dragged to court by the Executive Director, Professor Wilson Tarpeh, on grounds that they prevented him and other staffers from accessing the building, the institution this morning. They've been brought to court, but they are concerned that Professor Tarpeh does not have a tenure position as per the executive order issued by President George. We are that positions without tenure, those who occupy those positions, once after the inauguration, or those positions, those who occupy those positions must step aside, and Professor Tarpeh refused to step aside from the position, claiming that he holds a tenure position. So according to them, Professor Tarpeh does not hold a tenure position, and he should step aside from the Environmental Protection Agency. They also raised allegations of corruption and all of that. But there you have it. So they have been released on bond at the Monrovia City Court here on the grounds of the Temple of Justice in Monrovia. So security officers were deployed at the Environmental Protection Agency this morning, providing security for the facility. But the staffers have said their greatest concern is for Professor Tarpeh to leave, because the executive order provides that those institutions that do not have tenure positions, the occupants of those positions